Good to see everyone enjoying each other and making this time to be together. So we are back for place 4. This is an opposed race, and we have incumbent Brenda Hughes with us, and unfortunately Robin Monroe was not able to be here with us tonight, but we will provide her the same questions and hope she will find a way to share her answers to these questions. Brenda, much like the first round, you have 2 minutes for an opening statement, and then we'll proceed with 6 questions and then close with a 2-minute closing statement. Okay. So we will get started, and you have 2 minutes to go.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, giving me the opportunity to speak. As most of you know, I am a 30-year resident of Kerrville and a 29-year small business owner. I saw the beauty of this city many years ago, and instead of choosing to retire here, I chose to bring my family here and raise them. So that's the beauty of this community. Now, 30 years later, I have raised my 4 children, and I've got 13 grandchildren who continue to live in this community right here in Kerbil, and 2 more on the way. Twins due October the 4th. I still believe I have the passion and the drive and the heart to represent this community. I'm blessed to have been able to build relationships with many people here who I now consider extended family. And I would just like the opportunity to continue to serve. I'm very goal-oriented. I started some goals my first term. I'd like to continue with that and just make my community as proud of me as I am of them. Thank you.
Okay, and since every question's for you, we'll give you a minute to take a breath.
Get a drink of water.
Very similar to the last round, a question you will have heard before. First question, what one trait makes you the better candidate for this race?
Well, I don't know about the better candidate, but it's the right candidate for what our community is going through or experiencing right now. I've had the opportunity to see it transform from what it was 30 years ago to what it is today. And it's only become more beautiful, more hospitable, more accommodating to our citizens. And I want to see it continue to do that for the generation that's coming up behind me.
We will move right into the second question, give Valerie a chance to reset her clock. Question number 2. What are the top 2 issues facing Kerrville, and how can we best move our community forward to overcome these challenges?
The top 2. Definitely affordable housing, workforce housing is at the top of the list, along with our infrastructure needs. Our public safety complex is at the top of my list as far as wanting to see that come to fruition. It's very personal to me, and the public is telling me that it's time. It's time for us to better protect our citizens, because we are in charge of running the city and keeping our community safe. And because of what's going on in our world today, people are not feeling as safe as they should. So infrastructure needs are at the top of the list. Affordable housing comes in a close second. And those are the challenges that we're facing and that I would like to help to resolve.
Thank you. Question number 3. Do you support tax increases if needed to support the continuation of city services? And if so, which services would you support those for?
Well, that's an easy one. I only support tax increases in emergency situations. And right now, the city services that are in dire need of attention are our frontline workers facilities, our firefighters, our EMS, our law enforcement, that there's a critical need for us. You know, we can Band-Aid it all day long, but at the end of the day, there comes a point in time where we have to fix things. And this is at the top of the list of things that need to be fixed in our community.
Thank you. And this is a new question. It is submitted by the public. What other involvement have you had with city on boards and committees prior to running? If you'll just share a little bit more about those.
Well, I've sat on for the city specifically, I served on the Food Service Advisory Board for a total of, I believe, 6 years, could be 8, I've lost count, but for those years I chaired the committee, and that was my first board appointment with the city. But I also sit on several other boards, one being the County Capital Improvement Planning Committee, which is also, as most of you may know, is going to have some propositions on the ballot related to infrastructure and safety. So I've been on that committee, or that board now for 3 years. I also helped form the Kerrville Pets Alive Board, and we're in our, we were formed in 2019, so we're in our 3rd year there. We're making great strides in reducing the euthanasia numbers for our community pets. And I'm on the CASA board. I've been a CASA volunteer since 2012, and I was asked to join the board, I believe, 3 years ago, and I've been serving on that board ever since.
Okay, thank you. Question number 5. Do you support legislation or policies that make it easier for new businesses to open or existing businesses to expand? And if so, what might that look like?
Well, I support both legislation and policies. I mean, I welcome new businesses to town. But, you know, of course, along with new businesses comes workforce housing issues. And with workforce housing issues, you've got workforce issues, just getting people inside your business, you know, to help you run it. But, you know, as far as policies go, you know, policies are there for a reason. And it helps make for good government and good business sense and good community involvement.
Thank you. Last question, and this is one that you'll recognize from earlier, submitted from the public. If the public safety facility is justified by our community's need, why has a PAC been formed to promote it? And if you'd like to speak to who might be involved in that, you're welcome to. It's one of the things that this submitter wanted to know. And what is your view on that facility?
Well, I've worked very hard my last term trying to get our frontline workers the tools they need to do their job. We've been successful at getting them tasers. We've been successful at getting a new ambulance. We've been successful at getting the first canine unit since we've had since 2012. Our law enforcement is the cornerstone of our community, and it's got to have the tools, the equipment that they need to do their job. And what's happening is we've lost 28% of our KPD workforce and 18% of our KFD workforce to outlining cities who have better tools, better equipment, and better facilities for them. So we have got to become competitive. Right now, our poor first responders are pulling doubles. It's a drain on our overtime budget. And they deserve and they have the right to be able to spend time with their family. And that only happens when we get adequate staff. So the facility is merely the start. As far as the PAC goes, there's about 18 people on that PAC. Their objective is to educate and inform the public about what their money's going to be used for. So.
Okay, and so before you leave us, you also have 2 minutes to make a closing statement.
I just really want to thank you for having me here and giving me the opportunity to follow my passion, to follow where my heart tells me I need to be. And you know, the bottom line is if God wants me there on council again for a second term, He's going to put me there. And I do not represent one certain group or one certain club. I represent my entire community, because my entire community, irregardless of what end of the spectrum you are on, we are all still family. And we have to learn to live together and to do what's best for our city as a whole. And I'm asking for your vote on on May the 7th, and appreciate the time that you have given me today.
Okay, and we are about to adjourn for another 5-minute break. Will you stick around and be available to meet people and answer questions if they have them? Wonderful,
Yes.
thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
So, thank you for being with us.